Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PaperRenee.com. Today we're going to be making a cute little Halloween card, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need for this. The first thing is going to be a standard size black card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You're going to need a rectangle of orange paper, and I used my Cricut cartridge Georgian Basics shapes for this, and just cut out a rounded rectangle, and it is, let's see, I cut it at 4 inches, and so that came out at 4 by 2 1/2. If you don't have that cartridge, you could just cut it out and then just round the corners. I did that because I mass produced these cards. I made a lot of these for an event I'm going to soon. You need another rectangle of purple paper, which is 4 1/4 inches wide and 1 1/2 inches tall. Another piece of this cute orange polka dot paper, which is also 4 1/4 inches long. And I cut it at 1 inch wide, and I used my Fisker's punch to punch the scalloped edges out of it. You're going to need a piece of transparency paper, which I realize you can't see here probably too well, but that is cut, it's a 2 1/2 inch square, and it's just transparency paper you can get from Office Depot or Staples or anything like that. And then I used my Design Studio to make this little frame. I used the Storybook cartridge and cut out the scalloped square, and then I made like a plain square in the middle so it would cut the middle out. If you don't have Design Studio and you have Storybook, you can just cut out the square, which is, let's see, 2 inch square with the scalloped edges, and then just X-Acto knife out the center, which I'm going to show you in a minute because we're going to do this on the card also. And I'm using the spider web from this Heidi Grace stamp set called Halloween. How appropriate. And I'm also going to use the little spider in a minute as well. For the sentiment, I'm using My Pink Stamper's Spooky Puns, and I'm using this EEEEK down here. Alright, let's get started. Whenever you want to stamp on transparency paper or anything that is really slick like this, you need to use Stays On ink, because it'll stay on. It's great for this kind of project because this ink is very sticky. I really a lot of times like it even just for regular stamping because it's always a really pretty image. It comes out usually very strong and dark and always looks really good. Now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to emboss a spider on here. I'm using a dryer sheet to rub off any excess stuff that might be on there. To emboss, you use Versamark ink. Little spider, and I'm going to ink him up. I'm just going to put him kind of right here. Okay. I'm going to get out my white embossing powder, which I always keep in this little tub. Keeps it from going everywhere. Get the excess off. And then use the heat gun to set it. And I'm going to emboss this EEEEK on the bottom here. Right side up. I love how the white shows up on the black and how it shows up on the purple. Looks really cool. Oops. Same thing. And set it with your heat gun. Okay, the next step is I'm going to make a window in my card to have the transparency show through. So this is, I'm going to use my little frame, and I'm going to put it kind of where I want it, and then I'm going to draw lines around kind of lightly so I know where to cut. I'm going to cut it out using an X-Acto knife and a ruler. You could certainly use scissors. That will work just as well. Just a couple passes with the knife will do it. If you mess up a little bit, that's okay. Your little frame will cover it. There's our window. I'm going to take my ATG gun and I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side, and I'm just going to put a line of adhesive on the back side of that window. Just like that. Okay. Now the next thing is I'm going to put the top of the frame on right here. I'm going to use some Tombow Mono Multi-Glue, and I'm just going to put a line of glue around all four sides. This really is such a great glue. You can get a very thin line and it really holds. This is like serious glue. It does not come off once you put it down. Okay, just like that. Okay, there's our little window. Now the next step is I'm going to take this orange piece and I'm going to run some glue, maybe, oh, here it is, along the edge like this. And I'm going to put this purple piece on top of it, just like that. And center it, and you can see that I didn't exactly cut this even, but that's alright. It will. I can just take my scissors and trim off where I got kind of carried away. It happens. And then we're going to put it on the card right there. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Just like that. Let's see if we can make a mess and some noise. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm going to center it on there again. And again, it's kind of sticking out. So that's alright. We'll just flip it over, take your scissors, and just trim it off so it's even with the base of the card. Okay. Now I'm going to use some, if I can find it, this Lime Twist from my Mind's Eye, Lime Twist Baker's Twine, which is really cute. And I'm going to use some of that on my card. I want it to be like right here. So since this is the fold of my card, I'm going to have to put like a little notch in it. Right there. Just like that. And I'm going to thread it through. Okay. And then just cut the ends off like that. Okay, now the last thing, well, no, it's not the last thing. I need my white gel pen. And I'm going to draw a little curlicue line from the window down to the spider. So it looks like he's come out of that window. There we go. Just like that. And then the last thing is I'm going to take this orange piece and I'm going to put adhesive on it. I'm going to put it inside the card so that, as you can tell from the card like this, it's really hard to see that spider web is in there and clear. That's the first reason I'm doing it. The second reason why I'm doing it is if you have a black card, it's hard to write on the inside. So I'm going to put this in here so I have a place to write my sentiment as well. You could make this bigger, you could make this fit the whole page, but it's there, just like that. Alright, there's the finished card. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great week. Bye.